we go, there we go. First keeper of the morning, nice pretty fish. That was on the Super Glow Purple Goby Moonshine Shiver Minnow. Little perch. Big old perch. Little guy, cutie patootie, what a pretty fish. There we go. Big fish eat little fish, and he sucked that right in. Nice keeper, second one of the morning. Think he wanted that bucktail? Nice little largie. Just coming off the bed. See its tail? Just rubbed raw. Same with its belly fins. It's returned. Nice eye. Boy, they're finicky this morning. Another keeper, third keeper of the morning. I'm giving this first drift 45 minutes. I've fished it with 5 baits. I've seen a pretty good picture back up here behind me in 19 foot of water. I saw a very good picture in spots. Not a tick, not a bite, not a nothing. So I gotta trust my electronics. Go find fish, fish them, and then decide. And but how long am I gonna stay in one spot? You know, do you stay for the eternal? Oh, they're here. Maybe they'll turn on, or do you move 150 feet in 10 foot of depth? Not even 5-6 foot of depth, and find a more active school. You know, the age-old saying amongst charter captains of old was, you don't leave fish to find fish, you know, or you don't leave what you know for radio fish. Inch eye, first one of the day. He's in 6 foot of water. And that's the second walleye in less than a week I've had on the Mark Zona Cruncher. I think we're gonna name it, so I'm a kid of the 80s. I think we're gonna name that Clubber Lang. And everybody watching this, if you know who Clubber Lang is, all right. If you don't, you better go watch it. So the walleyes are on shallow reefs, but it just doesn't register with me that they would be eating crayfish. Though I don't know why they wouldn't. And obviously they do. And he was right there, and it stopped. Not allowing me to pull, it just stopped everything. Everything was dead, and I went, oh, into him. I assumed it was a bass. I just assumed it was a smallmouth, because I just assumed it was a smallmouth. Okay, well, this is spot 2, or let's call it 1A, 1 and 1A. I just slid out into the main, down here in the belly of the trough. It's a trough between, it's a deep trough between 2 islands. And I found them better up on top before it drops down in. And it's coming this way, so it's deep and it's coming up like this. So depending on the wind, I've actually had better days here in an east wind, because the east wind's piling in to the upswing. It's pushing stuff there, and those walleyes will sit up on top a lot of times and just wait, because the wind does generate current and it does move the water. At my house on the river, you have a heavy east wind, and that stiff wind's pushing all the water back to the west. You know, the water in my dock in the river will come up some days a foot, maybe even more. That's a lot of water. So water's level always until it gets pushed or moved, and then it starts going like this. And so if the wind's pushing it, but I'm drifting down in it today from shallow to deep, and but even up shallow, I didn't do anything. I had a good enough picture up there. And down here, I'm seeing better clusters, and I've seen bait with fish directly on it. You'll see that big tall column of broken bait. I'm off to find another spot. I don't know, I'm gonna go back up shallow, and I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing. Go back up shallow and fish a small flat adjacent to out of the water structure and deep water on this side. I'm gonna go up on that flat, and it's not very long. It'll be a nice short drift if I can find it in there. So that's where I'm gonna go next. Right now, today, every place I'm looking, even on these shallower flats in the 15-16 foot range, I'm seeing suspended bait. I don't necessarily know what that is. I wouldn't think it's perch. Could certainly be, but they're like mid-water column, and it is just, it's a troller's wet dream out here right now. So those fish are going to be up. You can get anything you want to them in any kind of a spread. You know, you can run, you don't even have to run deep divers to hit, not anything crazy. You know, you could have a regular bait, a regular lift crankbait with a drop weight, you know, with a trolling weight somewhere, clip on. God, you could run a 10-foot leader and just put a weight in front of it. Of course, it could be a split shot. All that split shot rolls, unless they're perfectly round. Anything with an ear rolls, and even the perfectly round ones. If I'm going to use a trolling weight inline, I prefer a keeled bead sinker, a regular bead sinker. I do not prefer, or like a worm weight. It's tapered like a bullet, because there's Billy. I know that boat anywhere. Harness pullers are not, good harness pullers are within 2 foot of the bottom, or whatever their lead is off their weight, off their drop weight. They're right there. You know, you can. So they would think, you know, you would think a suspended fish, a lot of suspended fish, the worm guys aren't going to be able to aren't going to be able to target them effectively in that mid-water column because they won't know exactly where they are. You can do the math on all of it, and there are bell curve charts and all that. I want to do something with Craig Sleeman later on this season into the summer walleye bite, where I do a lot of harness pulling, and I don't ever look. My electronics are usually set in bottom lock to within 5 feet. I'm a jigger. I only care about those fish down there. It doesn't matter to me above them because I'm not jigging up in mid column. I suppose you could, but that's not what I'm doing. But Craig and Mike at I1, they developed a worm weight, an inline worm weight for suspending very accurately worm harnesses off the bottom. You know, anywhere off the bottom, off the bottom. There's 100 weights. There's 100 trolling weights. I personally use the Northland. That solid stick that goes on a slider online. That is my preferred one. I get a great feel with it. Yeah, Chris Mulpagano turned me onto that, my buddy Chris. Okay, move 3 is proved. I did have a bite on something, probably a perch. Just not seeing them consistently enough, and I'm not catching them in a scattered manner, so I'm going to keep going and slide to the outside of this flat where it goes 17, 18, 25, 26 fairly quickly. I'm going to be up on top of that and see what happens. Okay, I'm on move number 4. So I've done 2 complete spot changes and then 2 spot within a spot changes. I'm in 20 right now. It's gonna come up flat and down deep and keep going. Wind's pushing, so let's see if there's maybe a fish now on the downside of the lip, waiting for something to be washed over the top of it. It's an easy meal. Spot 5, 6 different drift. No bites. The morale is still up. Oh, it's another bruiser. Another 19. Just like that other one on Clubber Lang. This one's on the perch. So this is a windswept, downwind end of a piece of structure. And that's 2 big walleyes in here hunting. I don't know what they're hunting for in here. Oh! I'm going in. I did a lot of driving around today, a lot of looking at my electronics. As always, keep your timber.